Brown Dog Gadgets Live.
Hello, welcome to Brown Dog Gadgets Live. I am Amanda, the Education Outreach Coordinator here at Brown Dog Gadgets. Behind the camera, I've got Josh with me today.
Hey!
That was beautiful.
Oh.
Awesome.
And chips.
And chips. Maybe we'll be snoring shortly. We shall see. We are going to be using our Crazy Circuits parts today to build a couple different kinds of switches, essentially. But before that, if you have not followed us on our social media platforms, please check us out on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. If you have not subscribed, like, comment, share, do all that stuff. Do it all. Smash the like button, like my husband likes to tell me I should say. He said I should say that.
Wow.
Yep. So it has been said. Also, the guides for the things that you see today and all of our, different projects that you can build are all on browndoggadgets.com. And if you have any questions, you can either leave a comment or you can email us at help@browndoggadgets.com. All right, Josh. We're using those Crazy Circuits parts today. And we've got two different projects that I think Pete built both of these, correct?
I'm going to venture out on a limb here and say yes, Pete made them.
I'm pretty sure. I know he made the telegraph key, but I wasn't here for the... Wait, what is this again? I forgot.
Oh, the hand crank?
The crank.
Yeah,
That's
crank.
it. Yay.
Oh,
All right, let's go ahead and
side.
switch to the overhead camera and we'll check out the two things that I'll show you how to build
You
today.
didn't bring the giant version.
No, I didn't know there's a giant version.
I'll have to get the video and show the video. There's a huge version.
Okay. All right, so the one on the right here is a crank. It's using those Crazy Circuits parts and our 1/8" maker tape. And it basically just turns on when the circuit is connected underneath. And we'll show you how that's built shortly. So it's a little crank. And then let's not waste the battery. There we go. And then the one over here is same thing. We're using those Crazy Circuits parts, but instead of turning something, we just press down on our switch or our telegraph key to make the circuit complete. This one, Pete has mentioned before that it is could be used for something like Morse code for sure. All right. Did you want to share something, Josh? I feel like you found something and you're itching to share.
First off, Amanda, why is maker tape so awesome?
We get to maker tape, Josh.
Are you
We'll
going
get
to make
there.
one today?
I'm gonna make both of them.
Oh.
Did you
snap.
think I was just gonna show this for 3 minutes and we'd be done?
I don't know. I don't know
Okay.
what goes on inside.
We're gonna
your
make
office
both.
throughout the day.
Let's start.
Here, before we go there, there's a giant version of the crank. It's a large
right.
scanner. I was looking at the room it might be in this room. I don't know where it went in our move.
I don't know.
But I have a video to show. Let me do this. Let me do the screen. Screen. And there, you can see there's a video on our website.
Now
But
wait,
it's-
are you muted right now?
I'm just yelling loudly into your microphone.
Okay, I was just making sure.
Anyway, this is our giant version of this. It's on our webs in our listing here. Too many screens. I'm clicking on the wrong screen. It's just a big version of it.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like a music box. That's the way we actually originally thought of doing this, was like a big music box, and because that's all a music box is. It's a very similar to this. So it's just a bigger version. And so Pete made a very easy trade show demo version, because doing sounds at a trade show is horrible because it's so loud. Let's just do this with light. And this is a Larson scanner. Not named after Gary Larson of the Far Side, but a different Larson who invented the Knight Rider back and forth and the Cylon effect from
Sure.
the 70s. That's where it comes from. But this is the really cool version. Just goes back and forth and it looks really good. And there's actually... Pete has it worked out so there's actually overlap in there as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like the real Larson scanner isn't just one LED. It's one LED with a little bit of fade on the two next to it. I know, we spent way too much time doing this, Amanda. This is what the office was like before you worked here.
I mean, sometimes that still happens.
I mean, true. But this is, again, you could do a music box version of this, which was the original plan, but you'd use a microbit or an Arduino instead of just an analog circuit like this. But it's really simple to do because as Amanda will show, the Lego pieces are really simple. And same thing with the telegraph key. Pete made a bigger version, which was just a version of our clothespin piano that we have, which just, again, a little microbit or Arduino project. But anyway, I was like, where's the big version? I totally forgot about that. It's somewhere in our office after our move, but definitely not in this room, because this room is very well organized, and I'm going to go back to Amanda in the front.
Thanks to Amanda.
Yes, Amanda, you're awesome. Thank you so
much. So when using our Crazy Circuits parts, even the basic starter kit comes with the battery holder as well as an LED and 1/8-inch maker tape and a Lego base plate. And then literally I just grabbed certain Lego pieces to build this. So what we're going to do is do a quick build on this and just kind of show you how really truly easy it is. I've just got some 4x1 bricks with some 2x1s on top of that. And then it needs a place for the tape to actually like come in contact with the spinning part on top. And this is all on our website, so if you're like, I really want to build that, that's quite fun. You can actually just search crank on our website. If you actually look at the description, there should be a link to the projects as well, but super easy to find.
Hey, Amanda, I'm going to show here. This is what this is the write-up for it.
There we go.
Where you can see this with. It's the same, not the same one you have, but...
I mean, it's darn close.
And importantly, it has a list of the official Lego pieces that you need, the actual pieces, which are sometimes tough for people to figure out what they're called and what they are, but those are the official.
Like a Lego axle 8 with end stop.
Well, it's just an 8-stud long axle with an end stop, Amanda.
That's this guy right here.
You can actually get away without an end stop, but the end stop makes it...
It really is helpful.
So...
while I'm assembling that, so I've got this piece here. What is it called, Josh? It has a name.
Oh, it is.
It's got the little plus parts in there. That's important.
It's a 3-long, half height beam is what I'm thinking. It's Lego beam 3x1/2 with axle holes.
There we go.
It's because it's on my screen from the listing. I'm like,
cheater.
It's a half height beam. It's a half-height beam. It's what it is. Lego beam. With axle holes on it.
There we go. So we took the one with the end stop, pushed it all the way through one side, and we're going to take a nice little short one and push it through on the other side. And this is truly the part that's going to crank. And eventually we're going to put these guys on it. However, we don't want to do that quite yet, because you'll notice here we actually need something to hold it in place. So we've got these 2x1 bricks that have just a hole. They don't have the actual like plus in there, because we want it to be able to move freely and actually be able to turn. Yay. You're having fun, aren't you?
Well, Andy was having fun yesterday with the sound effects. I might as well,
Andy really went to town on the sound effects yesterday.
And the day before, too. It's been a big week for Andy.
It's true. So we've got the axle, and then I put one of those bricks on it, and I'm going to go ahead and put all 4 of my circle bricks together. And that's going to go right onto that axle. However, before I do that, I'm going to set it up so it will actually activate the circuit and complete the circuit when the strips of maker tape make it around to touch the ones on the bottom. So maker tape. Josh wanted me to talk about this earlier. We'll get to it. I got this. Maker tape is a nylon conductive tape. It is Z-axis conductive, so it's conductive all the way through. You can cut pieces and overlap them, and it works beautifully. It's really easy to use in the classroom, super student-friendly, unlike copper foil tape, which can break on you and then it doesn't work anymore. Copper foil tape is fairly permanent. This stuff you can pull back up, so if we put copper foil tape onto this Lego base plate, it would be really hard to get it off. I have probably put our maker tape onto these specific base plates numerous times, and it's really easy to peel off, but it does still hold in place, so it is really great stuff. So what we're going to do is we're going to take just 2 little strips of maker tape. You could technically only do 1 also. I'm just going to put 1 strip on this side, and then we'll do 1 on the other side as well. If I just did one strip, it would just have the frequency of how often the circuit is closed. It would just make it a little less frequent. So that's all I did. I took some 1/8 inch maker tape and put it on each side. Now I'm going to take that whole thing and put it onto my axle, giving this a little bit of wiggle room. I don't want to push it all the way to the end because if I do, it won't be able to move very freely. Then I'm going to put another one on the other side and just pop it in place. But right now, you can see that I can move it. However, it has nothing to actually connect to. So we'll pull this off and set it aside, and we need to set up the rest of the circuit. We've got our battery holder, and if you've watched some of the live streams recently, we've talked about the different crazy circuits parts. The side that is white is the negative side. The side that has a color other than white is the positive side. So we want to make sure we're paying attention to polarity when we are setting up our circuit. You'll notice on this one, we intentionally have all the ground at the top, or all the negative at the top. And that way, then the positive is just coming out down at the bottom. And you'll notice these two paths don't actually touch. The crank is what makes them complete. And we are using 1/8 inch maker tape on this. It just makes it a lot easier on the studs to make it work.
You could use 1/4 inch on the barrel.
I mean, you could.
Oh, wow. Okay, well.
But then it would be on more frequently.
I mean...
I don't know if that's what I want. You will see when we actually go over to the Telegraph key that we did use some 1/4 inch on the Telegraph key. So you can use it. The 1/8 inch just really works nicely on the Lego studs because it fits a little bit better. So this piece is going to actually connect the negative side of the battery holder and the negative side of the LED. And then I'm going to take one long strip, and you'll notice that I need my positive side to start like one hole in between those two. And I'm going to take that strip and I'm going to go all the way over the whole darn thing. And you can make it all nice and neat. And I am going to like keep it fairly taut there. I don't necessarily want it to slack because I want it to make sure that it makes that connection. There we go. I may have even gone too far, but that's okay. And then I'm going to do the same thing. So I know the battery will go there and my LED is going to go here. So my negative is coming from that white hole. So I need my positive to start literally just one stud down. And I'm going to do the same thing with my 1/8 inch tape. And you know what? I could even just cut a piece. If it is not long enough, I can always just cut more and overlap it. If it's too long, I can just trim it to the length that I want. All right. What was that for?
Oh, nothing. It's the sound maker tape makes. So put it down.
One thing I do like to do when I'm using these pieces is when I first lay it down, I like to use the actual circuit, the crazy circuit piece to push it in place or to push the tape in place. That way I know that it's going to fit and it just makes a nice solid connection. Perfect. There we go. The one thing I need before putting this bad boy back on is I don't actually have any power. I've got the battery holder, but I don't have a battery in it. So this takes a CR2032 battery. You'll see that I have this really handy dandy battery holder here. If you want to print your own battery holders, you can pop on over to browndoggadgets.com and you can grab the 3D printable file for these, as well as the 3D printable file for the maker tape.
Hey, Amanda, show off the really cool paw print holder you have.
I showed it off yesterday, Josh.
Oh, I showed off the day before, too.
I know you did.
It looks really fun. It's a good organizer.
It is. And actually, on one of the videos, Natasha saw it for the first time and commented that she really liked it.
Oh, shoot. Natasha watched this video?
She watched one of the shorts and saw it in the corner.
Ah,
Yeah.
looks like all the social media work you're doing, Amanda, is paying off.
Maybe, I
With
don't know.
people we know.
So before I actually completely connect this, I can also test it out by just taking a piece of maker tape and connecting those two paths. And if everything is done correctly, my LED should light up, which means when I put this guy in place, we should be good to go. There we go. And then when I crank, we're a little close. Let's back this up a little. There we go. And when I crank, when that pathway actually connects the negative or the two positive sides, then the circuit is closed and it lights up the LED. This would be really easy to use a bitboard and microbit with instead. And you could program it however you wanted for it to do a variety of different things. So we talked about being able to make sounds before with the music box concept.
Or counting or moving something like a servo. Every crank is one
Yep.
degree of the servo. Any kind of input, like using a 7-segment display, you crank it, like the numbers go up or up. I guess would be because it would go one way, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
It could just go up that way, or a countdown, and when it countdowns to 0, something happens. Something mundane, like I don't know, like a fun sound effect.
That wasn't fun.
Yeah, that was fun. There we go. That's a fun whistle.
That one was good. I like how the Halloween spooky one was still in the background though.
Like a dolphin, a bottlenose dolphin going.
There we go.
We have dolphins in our studio. Can't do that.
I think this would also be really fun if you then had the students create a scene around it. Like, what is this light representing? And then they created the scene that went with their crank or with their telegraph key. I think that would be really fun to create. So that is our crank. And then we've got our telegraph key. Now, like I said, this one does take 1/8" maker tape as well as 1/4" maker tape. And I've got all my parts just kind of sitting on top here. I was trying to be prepared. I did set up some of it ahead of time. So same thing, we've got our green Lego base plate, and then I've got some 2x4 bricks on the bottom with some 2x2s on top of that. That really is just giving like the base to where this little lever is going to sit. Then we're going to actually put another 2x4 right at the front because we need somewhere for it to touch down. And it does make it nice and smooth. Just to make it nice and smooth so it's got a nice surface to connect to, we're gonna put that there as well. Then we've got are these beams?
Are they round on the ends?
Yes,
Then they are beams.
thank you. We've got 2 beams that we're gonna use for the actual key that you push down. And we're going to connect those with an axle right through the middle, but we do want that to be able to flow freely. So there is a little bit of a difference between the crank and the telegraph key where we wanted this barrel to stay nice and taut to the stick that went through it, but this one we want to be able to move freely. So both of them have a part that's holding it steady as well as a part that is moving freely. All right, and then we are going to put a little 2x1 on the end that does have that plus going through it. So this is what's going to hold that axle in place. And we will have one go on either end. And eventually that will go on here, but we got to do some prepping of it before we place that on. All right. This part is actually going to have some maker tape attached to it, because that's going to come around and help make that circuit complete when we press it down. So for this, I am going to use 1/4" maker tape. It just covers the area a little bit better. I technically could use 1/8" maker tape, but it would take a little bit more. Since the 1/4" is nice and wide, it just helps make sure that we've got a nice pad to connect. So I'm going to wrap it around to the bottom side, and I'm going to do about 3 strips like that. Side note, if you didn't hear it, Josh is over here, yawning at me.
Hey, I'm not yawning. My dog is snoring.
No, that was definitely you.
It's been a long day.
All that cookie buying.
You know, I take 2 kids to the dentist this morning, and that was quite the accomplishment. That
Oh man,
no
I
one
took
died.
3 yesterday.
It's true. Yours
No,
are
2 days
older.
ago.
It's true.
I did.
Some one-up mom ship going on there.
It was the day that you were hating on hedgehogs.
I don't hate hedgehogs. Just
I said
wish-
hating on.
hating on. I don't hate hedgehogs. I just wish I lived in a world where hedgehogs didn't exist. Oh, I went there. Oh. No, they're adorable. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. To all the hedgehogs watching, don't cancel me.
So sad. So sad. No Sonic for you. All right.
Oh, man.
So we put 3 pieces of 1/4" maker tape and wrapped them around the bottom. So this is where it will actually touch when it comes in contact with this brick here. Now we're going to actually set up the pathways on here before we add the actual key. I'm going to put more maker tape right in the middle of this pad. So that's where the circuit will connect. And I'm going to put a couple pieces because I don't know exactly where on the top it's going to connect. And I want to make sure that connection is solid. I could also test it out, but you know, whatever. Now I'm going to take the 1/8" maker tape and I'm going to run a path from this pad all the way down to the back here where my battery is going to be housed. And Josh, you will appreciate to know that I've been working on something. Do you know what I've been working on, Josh? Can you guess?
Cookies? Hedgehog cookies?
Nope.
Wow, because your cookies are fantastic.
Thank you. Nope. Did you see it, Josh? Did you see it?
Was it the amazing right angle turn you did, Amanda?
I mean, it was a pretty horrible right angle turn, but
I was being nice.
it was a right angle turn. There we go. Josh and his favorite right angle turns.
You should watch my live stream from earlier where I did like an amazing right angle turn.
Was it fabulous?
Like the chef's kiss
Oh.
of amazing right angle turns.
All right, so I've got this path coming here. And then what we're going to do is that is where the battery is going to connect. That's going to be the negative side of the battery. So that pathway is going to come to the white side of this battery holder. So I need to have a path leading from the positive side over to my LED. You'll see here we have a path leading from the positive side of the battery to the positive side of my LED, and then the path comes out the negative side of the LED. And I'm still using that 1/8" maker tape just because it really does fit nicely on the posts or the studs. And then that's where my LED will go, right there. So now I'm going to need to lead a path from this negative side of my LED all the way down. That's going to go up onto that telegraph key. Looks like I'm going to need a right angle turn again, Josh.
You can if you want, you don't have to.
I mean, the pressure has been real since I've worked here. What? You don't know how to do right angle turns? That's what he says to me on a regular.
You knew how to do that, Amanda. Just assumed you were awesome that way.
I'm awesome in so many ways, Josh.
You and Pete can hate my right angle turns all you want, but... Yeah.
Or you can be fancy like me and just cut it and overlap. Because maker tape is that fabulous, you do not have to do right angle turns. You can just overlap the tape.
Exactly.
All right, so right along this side here. I'm going to take it
Sorry,
to
there.
right about there. So we've got the circuit itself set up. We will need a battery in there, but there's nothing. It's not actually connected yet, so we'll throw that in so I don't forget in a few minutes. And now we can actually set up that telegraph key. So what we're going to do is we're going to put it in place. We want to make sure that it makes a connection there, but we need it to be able to come back up. So we're going to use a rubber band wrapped around the base of a brick and then wrapped around that telegraph key so it's holding it up. I'm going to pull this one off for now. And I used one that was a little bit bigger than Pete did in his description, just because I felt like it held on a little bit better. So you'll see that rubber band is just underneath that brick. And then I am going to just wrap it around.
Hey, that explains why you asked me where the rubber bands were this morning. I'm like, what is that?
It was yesterday. I was prepared already.
Oh, wow. You were super prepared.
That one, I don't like how bulky it is over here. Let's fix that. There we go. So we've got the rubber band underneath a brick, and then we've got a small 1x2 brick on top of it so it doesn't go too far down. You can see it actually stays pretty much parallel, and then when you press it down, it actually makes a nice little clicking sound too. However, we don't have a complete circuit yet. We need to connect this 1/8 inch path up to the top of that telegraph key. And I'm going to use 1/4 inch tape for that. So I'm going to connect it down on this pathway here just by sticking it on. And then tape it on top of that key. So now if, it's a big if sometimes, if I have everything actually set up correctly, when I connect the key with this pad below it, it should complete the circuit and it should light up the LED. Yay!
My finger, by the way, was just waiting just on the... Just in case.
Josh.
You proved me wrong, Amanda, with your amazing maker tape skills.
Well,
Wow.
and when you're doing this, if you do this kind of thing in the classroom, you will have some kids who don't get it to work the first time. And that is a great chance for you to talk about some of the different troubleshooting opportunities that there are with circuits like this. Talking about the polarity of the different components is really important. One thing I've also found is if your battery is pushed too far in, it worked this time, but sometimes it won't work if it's pushed too far in, so kind of moving that battery out a little bit can help. Making sure that your tape paths all connect. So if you are cutting and overlapping, making sure that there's no gap there, that they do actually come in contact. And then sometimes the tape can get pushed down so far onto those little studs that it's not making a great connection with the component itself. So if you're finding that that's the problem, like if you push down on the component and you're realizing, oh, if I really hold it down, it works, but if I just let it go, it's not. You could even just put another piece of tape over those two spots to make sure it's making that solid connection. And then if you really want to get fancy, you could completely pull out the light and the battery and hook up a microbit and make it do something else when you press down on that key.
Wait, I have a project to show off.
I would love to see it.
Not clicking fast enough.
Wow.
There's so many projects.
There really are.
Pete has done too many.
Too many?
Also not enough.
Right.
I thought he had one specifically of this. Here we go. Other view, go! Oh, there we go. So let me turn my mic. Oh, my mic is on. Yay! So we have the clothespin piano project, which is clothespins, which are great because they have a natural spring to them anyway.
And they're cheap,
And they're cheap as no tomorrow and easy to get.
says the former teacher.
But you can also do this exact same activity in the exact same way, but with the telegraph key instead of these guys, just to make it a little more interesting. I think at one point Pete had made, there's a live stream somewhere, like 4 or 5 of these together in a row somewhere. But yeah, there's no reason. I mean, it's this exact same approach right here, the exact same approach we're doing. Just they all have a common ground. But it's really easy to do, and the code here would work just fine with that telegraph key approach. Mm-hmm. Here we are just using simple cardboard. Simple, beautiful, easy to find. Oh, look, Pete. There you go.
Pete.
Good. Who's still not
We miss you, Pete.
He'll be around tomorrow, I think. Anyway, but this is making a big piano is a really good way of doing this. Or let me go and show the other one here if I can find it really quickly. Close window. I have overlays on top of overlays on top of overlays.
I thought you were clicking on the binary math game.
No, that's a really cool one too. I'm looking for the Glockenspiel. Where are you? I'm silly. I should have had these up and going.
It's very colorful.
Problem is you have so
there
many.
it is. Or the xylophone.
Oh, xylophone, not Glockenspiel. Here we go. You could do the same thing here, which is, if you're too lazy to play your own Glockenspiel or xylophone, you can just press a button. You could totally just use the Telegraph keys. Oh, you can also make it play Funky Town. There we go. But again,
that last note's a little sketchy there.
yeah, well, that's what you get when you pay $6 for a children's xylophone off Amazon, as opposed to a real Glockenspiel, which is a little more. Of which in here there actually is a Glockenspiel sound effect, which I will not spend time finding because it's taken too long. Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
There we go.
That was
But
beautiful.
any button you might ever need for a project without a microbit or Arduino, you could totally just make your own button. I mean, that's why you have like the cardboard push buttons. It's another fun way of doing things, but any push button project can just be, you can make your own, and having it be that Lego version makes it way more interesting. And it's also very easy to see, kind of like your old school knife switch, which again, very easy to understand, easy to figure out. But we just have lots of these projects, which is just a single push of something. And
it just makes the whole open-closed circuit concept so clear as well.
And just we have a lot of these different projects up here. A lot of these Arduino projects, the wiring is the same for microbit, just the code is different. I know we have to add more in this next summer. But anyway, enough of that. Let's get back to, there we go, overhead.
Here we go.
I think, again, kudos to Pete out there for having the sweep effect when we do the changeovers.
For the Larson scanner.
No, just the sweep. George Lucas uses sweeps in all the Star Wars movies. No one else uses the sweep transition.
There you go. So that is using our Crazy Circuits parts to add on to Maker Tape and create some switches in essence. Some really fun ways that you can make new projects in the classroom. And honestly, once your students have made stuff like this, their minds are going to be going on what else they can do. What else can I do with these parts and Lego to come up with something that is super creative? And if they do make something, if you guys make something else or make these projects, please share it on social media, tag us. We would love to see what you're creating because we know that there are some really super creative educators and students out there, and we'd love to see what you've done. That is all I've got for today. Next week and the following week, we are going to be pausing on the live streams for the holiday break. We will be back on January, is it 7th, Josh? I think 6th is the Monday, right? Does that sound right?
That sounds right-ish.
That sounds right.
I mean, it'll be the first full week of January.
Yep. I believe it's January 7th. We will be back with some winter fun activities, like the spinning snowflake, if you haven't seen that one yet. That one is a blast. And so we got some fun stuff. And then later in January, we'll be starting our Valentine's projects because that will come up faster than you know it. Awesome. Cool beans. There you go. If you have not followed us on social media, please do so. Check us out at Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or X, and YouTube. We've also been putting out some YouTube shorts, and we've got lots of YouTube lives as well. So please check those out. They are quite fun.
Hey, man, I have to say your YouTube shorts are being pretty awesome.
Thanks, Josh.
I mean, we've never done YouTube shorts until Amanda started doing them, so it's
true.
Pretty spiffy.
Thank you. I try to make them nice and short because Pete told me I had to.
I mean, it's in the name.
And then, I had one that was 32 seconds. He was like, it'd be better if it was under 30. I was like, oh, okay.
He's not here right now. Makes it even better.
Yeah. So, they're working well. We really enjoy doing them. So, make sure you check all those out. Have a great holiday season, and we will see you next year.
Thanks for watching. please visit browndoggadgets.com for parts, projects, and curriculum. Follow us on social media at BrownDogGadgets. We'll see you next time.